Hulk smash.
Smash.
Hi and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my spoiler-filled review with my best moments for She-Hulk Attorney at Law, the first episode. Going to be talking about my favorite moments, my thoughts on what I thought about it, reviewing it with spoilers, so you have been warned, so let's jump in. Jennifer Walters navigates the complicated life of a single 30-something attorney who also happens to be a green 6'7" superpowered Hulk. When it comes to Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk, some people might be wondering, like, who is she? If you've ever watched Orphan Black, you will recognize her from that, and I feel like that is a great portfolio as to how she got the job, because there she's playing multiple roles of the same person, and that makes sense if you've seen the series without going into spoilers, but she's fantastic in that. I just wanted to flag up her performance as the She-Hulk and Attorney at Law. I think she does a great job, especially when she's interacting with Mark Ruffalo. Really some nice chemistry there between them. It comes from years of experience of being able to go back and forth. She also voices AJ in one of my favorite animated series, Troll Hunters, so he has a cornucopia of experience when it comes to voice work and inflection. Okay, so bearing in mind that there are only 9 episodes in this series and most reviewers have only been given 4 episodes to review, they haven't been able to give a full review of it. If anybody does, those reviews that you see out there, take that with a pinch of salt because it's only the first 4 episodes, so rarely people can talk about the individual episodes as they drop. The first thing that's kind of negativity, and I hate starting out negative, there's 36 minutes including credits, and I would say once the actual storyline is finished, it's a max 31 minutes or 30 minutes, so it gives you an idea of how short some of these episodes are going to be, which is disappointing to me. I don't understand the length. You always go with what makes the story work better, so if it's contained and you understand how much story they're telling within those 30 minutes, that's kind of my only negativity. The other thing I've seen people talking about is that the comedy doesn't land for them. Now, maybe that's the case in subsequent episodes, but for me, I thought this really worked. From the opening with the breaking of the fourth wall, some people might be taken back by that, as our character Tatiana Maslany, she breaks the fourth wall, kind of going back, explaining how she became a She-Hulk, and we get that opening sequences with her, Mark Ruffalo, and Tatiana. They have a crash because they encounter an alien spaceship. She gets some of that blood, and as we see what happens, and what we get is kind of a montage of a first episode of her coming to grips with that she is a Hulk now, how to learn. And Mark Ruffalo's character, we have that explained as how he is the scientist now. That kind of one line of dialogue, it's all because of the blood. He's now able to fix his arm because of the healing properties that her blood has is kind of better, as well as him being the science Hulk again, or Smug Hulk if you want to take one of the dialogue lines, which I thought was pretty funny. But just going on the comedy alone, I thought it worked. There was a lot of nice banter between the two, between the Hulks, between family, and you believed them as family. Well, at least I did. Family that hasn't spent much time together. A sadness in this episode as well. As we're going around the place that Hulk spent the 5-year blip in, we find out that that was built by Tony Stark, or funded by Tony Stark at least, and there's a sadness within the Hulk, or the Science Hulk, or Smug Hulk, Mark Ruffalo's character. Everything that has happened before bears weight within this first episode, even to the funny dialogue that we get. So there is this continued comedic moments of them talking about Captain America and how great he was, but you can see that Jennifer Walters wants to know more, and she's trying to pull out the information from Hulk, Smug Hulk, but he's not willing to give it. And then we learn a little bit about the fact that they can't be inebriated, they can just get the buzz from alcohol, and that plays a part. So we get this little bit of thread. Now, for all of those that switch off at the end of credits, don't do this in this episode, because the best clip, well, in my opinion, comes from at the end of the credits. The first lot of the end credits, of the very creative end credits, is where we get the clip of them being drunk, supposedly, at least she is, and it's the line of where we get yeah, Captain America. So I thought that was just a nicely built kind of joke dialogue reveal to the character, but also makes us feel closer to the characters because they've been real. Again, it is a montage episode where she learns to control her hulkiness much quicker than the Hulk, and there's this bumping of heads and jealousy. He even stated, is this jealousy I'm feeling? Because she is able to have her Hulk and her mind. There's no alter ego, as they've explained within the reveal, which I thought was a very interesting way to go. If you've ever read the comics, you'll know this. You'll also know that in the comics, she breaks the fourth wall more than Deadpool. So that is not a thing that they've just made up. So I think if you're a fan of the comics, there's a lot that you're going to be enjoying this. We're getting more of the Hulk. I didn't know how much we would get of Bruce Banner. He's my favorite character in the MCU, always has been, and if this is how we get more of him, I'm all for that. I would love to see a proper new film with Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk and see what they could do with that storyline. I know Ragnarok had a lot of him and was kind of Planet Hulk mixed in there. Okay, I'm sidetracking because it really is She-Hulk, and so we get her doing her lawyer bit. She's able to take what she knows about the Hulk. She's better in every way, and Hulk is sad about that, but she does have stuff to learn. She's a bit arrogant in the beginning and thinks, I can do this all by myself, I don't need any help, and for all intents and purposes, she has, gotten the better end of the stick. Poor Bruce Banner had to spend 15 years coming to terms with his emotional turmoil because he has an alter ego. That is a big difference between her and him. So she doesn't have to contend with that. She can be her lawyer, she can be Hulk, kind of control it, and eventually we will see her interact with the superhero folk as we get to see her in this episode with the lawyer, and it's the introduction of who she is to the world as well. Very interesting origin, quick story to a 30-minute. It does feel somewhat rushed. I would have loved a film of this. I think it would have worked between the banter, kind of a story of an individual bad guy thread. I guess you don't always need to do that. So now we're going to see her lawyer, and there obviously are going to be interesting characters. If you look on IMDB, if you don't want to spoil it for yourself, then don't go and look the character names in IMDB. There's some very interesting characters coming. Let me know your favorite scenes in this. Some of my favorite were just the little nuances that you see in the background. Tony Stark, Iron Man helmet in the background. You're like, oh wow, I'm still sad about that. Probably always will be. Seeing him remembered in such a fondness, little scratchings on the desk with their names, like, Tony Stark was here. That was very cool. Some of the lines like put on a Pixar movie I thought were really good. I thought the Hulk smile was pretty creepy. I think it was intended to be Hulk slap, and then seeing She-Hulk use the Hulk slap but repeatedly, I thought were really interesting moments that I really enjoyed. So the way they've incorporated the heaviness of what has come before, the losses that they have had incorporated into the Hulk character, and now we have this kind of new generation, I think that's what it kind of is pushing towards. It feels right. I think the comedy worked. All the jokes are, have various ranges of intelligence to them. Some are just slapstick. Some are scripted to be long-winded jokes that will come out later, and some are just like in your face. But I do think it works because of, if you've ever read the comics, you kind of get the sort of tone that they're going for, and I hope they keep it fresh and fun. We don't need to go too serious with this. I am hoping that the rest of the series has a really good arc for us to be invested in, rather than just her adventures. That would still be fun, but we do kind of need to sink into that story. For the moment, this first episode isn't story so much as it is a montage of her coming to grips of who she is. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget, there are 2 other reviews for you to watch right here, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.